see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, level up. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. I wanna ball. Waking up meant that he gave me a chance and I'm rolling the dice. I do it all. Living like I'm trying to go for the platinum trophy in life. Who can you call? Really nobody, so you should just follow me on your device. And know if she chillin' with me, then it's bound to be chemical X and the sugar and spice. Game in the system, but game is the hobby. I'm probably cocky, but hot as wasabi. I mean, if it's beef, then you know where to find me. My niggas is ready and so is my body. You should be running and telling your posse and what's in the speakers and what's in your potty. And she trying to kick it, but this ain't karate. Just keep that shit down while I'm watching Tsunami. I ain't saying I'm a super nerd, but I told you when we got involved, my idea of a perfect date is a PlayStation and some alcohol. I was role playing on GTA. I'm a good guy, but I got it all. If the world should end, be the first to leave, but the last of us acting naughty, dog. Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, level up. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, level up. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. I wanna ball. Waking up meant that he gave me a chance and I'm rolling the dice. I do it all. Living like I'm trying to go for the platinum trophy in life. Who can you call? Really nobody, so you should just follow me on your device. And know if she chillin' with me, then it's bound to be chemical X and the sugar and spice. Game in the system, but game is the hobby. I'm probably cocky, but hot as wasabi. I mean, if it's beef, then you know where to find me. My niggas is ready and so is my body. You should be running and telling your posse and what's in the speakers and what's in your potty. And she trying to kick it, but this ain't karate. Just keep that shit down while I'm watching Tsunami. I ain't saying I'm a super nerd, but I told you when we got involved, my idea of a perfect date is a PlayStation and some alcohol. I was role playing on GTA. I'm a good guy, but I got it all. If the world should end, be the first to leave, but the last of us acting naughty, dog. Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, level up. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, level up. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up.
And that came through. What's going on, people? Fame of the Same here from LV1Gaming.com. And congratulations, you guys leveled up to 207. This is the Double XP podcast. Yes, that's how the show started, because this panel hates me, and they don't know what we mean when we say
that wasn't
code.
funny, Baron.
Like, oh yeah, wow. You know what? Had this been pre-show, I would have said something, but I won't say it because we want to get this thing going. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We have a returning guest with us, which we can't wait to talk to, and see what he is up to. He has some amazing projects he's been working on. We're going to talk about Final Fantasy, whether 16, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and it not coming to Xbox. Then also we're going to talk about Diablo Immortal. As I figure out why I'm moving to 10 FPS, we're going to talk the introduction, talk the man with the clamps, Citizen Snips.
What's up, everybody? Baron, you good?
Yeah.
All right. I was making sure you weren't about to lose it. I'm glad to be back, y'all. Unfortunately for the 2XP podcast team, they didn't have enough cool guests this time, so they had to ask me back. So y'all are stuck with me for another week. I'm glad to be here. I'm ready to go.
Next up, the #1 reviewer at LV1Gaming.com, and maybe the most hated by the time this week is over. Look out at LV1Gaming.com, because if you're going to hate somebody, this is the man to hate. Shakalaka88, what's going on, brother?
You know, Matt, he said his whole government.
It's your fault, fam. It's your fault because you were like, we need some shit out of you, and I'm like, fine, I'll put an opinion piece out, and there we go. I'm gonna just throw out something inflammatory. It's gonna come out on Friday, I believe, and it's already written, so it's like it's definitely gonna come out. And I got another opinion piece already in the works, and then I got a review coming out. It's like, damn, man, you guys cracked the whip on me, man.
No crunch here at level 1.
At least it wasn't Juneteenth when he said that. Good God.
What? God, at least we're more than 24 hours away from it.
Okay.
Next up, my right hand man, the floor hugger with the hardest of all R's.
Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be back. Fame is already on something. I don't know what he is. I'm glad Chase is here, looking handsome and scrumdiddly-umptious. But let's get into these video games. Let's get into some of this controversy, because you said Diablo Immortal, and I was like, ooh, I got something to say.
There we go. Next up, if your email box is full and your DMs is constantly popping, that's because communication director at LV1Gamer.com trying to get a hold of you, baby. Baron J67, what's going on, Chief?
You know, all I can say is put your games everywhere if possible. You know, because for some reason Square Enix doesn't have this team to put games everywhere. But if you say DMs are open, respond.
Amen.
Some people have their DMs open, and they're right DMs open just to never respond to DMs. And what's the point of having them open? It's a PR stunt. Last but definitely not least, again, our returning guest, award-winning. Yeah, we got to make sure we put some respect on this name. Put some respect on this name. Award-winning composer. Chase, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's happening? Happy to be back with all you lovely folks. Mama, Fame, Shakalaka Baron, Snipes.
I love it.
I love it. Oh, my God. I'm glad he's back.
Shout out to the chat, man. Mini Yeti, Walter White, I see you. Hustle, Motivate. Dragon is in the building, man. You guys are freaking awesome. Make sure you guys hit that share button. As I try to figure out why I'm scrambling all over the place. I might have to concede this podcast to one of the other hosts, because I'm scrambling, and you know it is what it is. But let's get going, and let's start with you, Chase, because I know you are currently working on some amazing projects. I was able to hear. I wish we were able to play some of these things on here without getting copyright struck to hell. But Chase, if you could take a moment to talk about what are some of the things that you are currently working on, things you have completed, things that you have coming, if you can say.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you so much. So, I've been working on a project called Questlight Pocket. It's developed by Sprite Run Studios. The game is actually already out. It's a mobile game. If you're thinking about Pokemon Go and Monster Hunter and put those together, I designed the rhythm combat music to adapt to the score while you're fighting these typical monsters. So actually just got my first S tier class. So it's not that quite easy to do the combat to the rhythm and the music that I scored, but hopefully you'll be enjoying that. And the soundtrack is actually coming out July 5th. So the pre-order is now on chasebethea.bandcamp.com. If you want to go check that out there, I appreciate that all of you have listened thus far. And then it will be streamed worldwide, and the full release will happen again on July 5th.
Now, if you could drop that link for me, Chase, so I can put that in the description down below. But I want to ask you, as a composer, and you've been working on some amazing things. Has there been anything that has caught your attention, your eye, that someone else is working on that you like? Man, this was really dope, and I think a lot of people aren't necessarily given credit for.
Shoot, in terms of games, it's been a little bit. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I do. There's this game that I've been checking out. It's called Roller Girl, and it's not like the typical one that came out in the state of play. This one's very more chill, relaxed. There's it's a developer in Canada, and she is a really good artist. She actually worked on a project with a friend of mine that I've been friends with a long time in the industry, and so it was cool to kind of connect with her, and I did a demo thing. So I definitely want to give a big love to Roller Girl. I think the company is pushing Vertices Inc. So I can also do a double drop in the chat for that link there. And I think it's actually really cool to check that out.
Definitely. Also, if you want to get direct to them, if you, I should have been made you a mod. You type in the chat, I go ahead and mod you so you can drop. Oh, yeah. Hey, this is a new little feature in Discord. Where'd that come from?
We're learning on the spot now.
Yo, that's cool. Okay, that's cool. I'm about to drop that right now. That's cool. When the hell did they add that?
Yeah, that's been in there for about a month now, I think.
Yeah, shows how much I've been paying attention. Why don't y'all keep me up to date on these things?
We're good.
Okay,
we just think you know that.
But listen, make sure you guys
We have faith in you.
go check it out. I'm also going to put the link to Chase's Twitter handle. Make sure you guys, this man does some incredible work. I mean, and we again are very much appreciative of you coming in and talking with us. It's not very often we get an award winning, because we're gonna put some respect on your name, right? Composer, come on and hang out with us and talk video games with us. So anything we can do to help push out any projects you're working on, man, we love the opportunity to kind of brag on you, brother. November 8th is the greatest day of all time. We're not gonna tell people why, but it is. And I think the panel would agree. Ain't that right, panel? That November 8th is the greatest day ever.
So, Chase,
I am on this inside joke, yes.
Yeah, yes. So, hey, no. So I listened to some of the tracks already. I believe there was 2 tracks out there, and I took a listen. And I messaged you, and I was like, look, it sounded like a company that makes JRPGs made battle music for Skyrim. Like that's so give some folks, like, because I feel like I poorly described it, but I think people listening will understand what I'm trying to get across. What was the theme and inspiration for the tracks that you made, and how many tracks did you make? Like, how does that work? Explain it to the good people, because I'm a noob in all of this.
No, yeah, for sure. So it is a 5-track EP. So it's a mini track one. It was supposed to be a bit more. It was supposed to do some of the biomes. Those didn't quite work out. So that's why it's accentuated to follow along with the composition when you're actually playing the game on the Android and go along to the different music. So when you're in different biomes, you're going to get different tiers of the music combat. So there's common monsters, there's rare monsters, uncommon, and legendary monsters. So each battle track is designed to correlate with the battle aesthetic of what that monster is in terms of its difficulty. And as you go along, there are different layers that will come in and out. Now, for the soundtrack, you're just going to get a different arrangement of all in one for all good ear candy experiences that I've done for the players. But when you're playing the game, you'll get this more interactive, more insectric, and more immersive experience in that aesthetic overall. So you get 5 different tracks, including the theme of the game, which launches right when you pull up the game. And even on the Bandcamp, if you go there now, you can actually see some of the gameplay, and I've been promoting some of the things as well in terms of like different behind the scenes, how I was writing the music. In terms of inspiration, I did some Monster Hunter inspiration for our PS2, and then Monster Hunter Tri, I did that one too, and I did a couple others, but a lot of it came from my own mind, I would have to say, because it's in a different time. It's in a time signature that most people aren't really accustomed to, and all the battle tracks are in that same time signature to keep it consistent. So it's extremely unique in terms of, even though it's small, but it packs a big punch.
The flow, even within the tracks, because I want to say the ones that were available, they weren't like directly next to each other, but it still did flow in a way to where it felt like what you're describing. And you guys make sure to check out the link because it does give you that leads to the tracks that are available, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And then make sure you guys go out and support and go ahead and pre-order. Is it going to be
Those
on
links are in the
everywhere?
description, so hit that.
Sorry, Brady, let me say.
Is it going to be available everywhere?
Yes, it will be available everywhere July 5th.
There you go.
And the game is already out now, so if you actually wanted to listen to it, it's free. Just go on your Google Play and check it out.
And then again, we contemplated how much trouble we'd be in by trying to play some of that here, but it was like, it'll
No
probably
trouble. You've got to pass through me.
Okay. Oh, hey.
No trouble at all. So yeah, I can
Whip out the I Know Chase card.
Right.
Yes.
Multi-pass.
There you go. So for you guys who are watching, please hit the links in the description. Give Chase a follow. Go check out his work. Share the stream out. We're going to jump into the first topic of the day. For some reason, I'm going at 10 FPS again. I don't know what's going on. But we're going to jump right to the first topic. We're going to talk about Final Fantasy. We did have a showcase at the end of last week. It was more about Final Fantasy, what's coming up. But one thing that was noted that a lot of people were upset about is that Final Fantasy, which was always assumed to be a year time exclusivity, that year has come and gone, right? And so we're currently looking at situations to where most people are beginning to believe that this game will completely skip Xbox, or could it be that the game will have to wait? People have to wait on Xbox until all of the parts are made, which we could be years out before the complete Final Fantasy VII Remake is made. I want to start with you, Chakalaka, and your thoughts on Final Fantasy. Pretty much, in my opinion, they're skipping Xbox completely. And we already know, again, Final Fantasy 16 is PlayStation 5 exclusive. So it looks as if 7 may be as well.
I'm not sure on how I feel about this. I mean, well, I'm of two minds. It's like the Xbox wasn't really known for being a JRPG machine, and now they've been recently changing it, right? Game Pass has really been leading the charge with that. So obviously there's an audience now, but at the time, during the Xbox 360 and I would say Xbox One days, Xbox's sales in Japan weren't really that good, so that's where most of the target audience is. It's only until recently Japanese-ass games have become mainstream. That's what I was going to say. Things like Ghost of Tsushima and freaking Sifu and all these other games that are coming out right now. So what I'm saying is, when it comes to Final Fantasy VII, I mean, the original came out with PlayStation 1, so it's kind of like the audience is already kind of sort of branded there. So this one is kind of like, I'm not sure if they were missing it. Maybe there's extra money. Maybe there's a partnership. Maybe there's money changing hands. But overall,
But
that's all I got to say.
Isn't it kind of weird that the other Final Fantasy games are there? 15 was there day and date. 9, 10, everything except for 14 is playable on Xbox. Everything.
Holy shit.
Everything but 14 is playable.
When you think of Final Fantasy, since you guys don't play 14, what do you think? It's probably Final Fantasy 7.
9.
It's probably one of the most...
Yeah.
For you, 9, because you like looking at Dagger's booty anyway. It's such an iconic game that it kind of has created its own lore and legend. It's not Tomb Raider got a year exclusivity on Xbox, but Tomb Raider has also been on many platforms. Final Fantasy VII is probably one of the biggest games in all time's history. Because even if you don't know Final Fantasy VII, somebody knows Cloud, somebody knows Tifa, they know them. I think it's created its own mystery where if it wants to come out on Xbox, it will, but it'll be a while. But it can do whatever it wants. If it wants to float above PlayStation like a fart cloud, it can. If it wants to float above PC like a fart cloud, it's going to. But Final Fantasy that's on a level that we have never seen in gaming before. That's why I'm like, just let it breathe. let it be, because it's a weird one.
Chase, do you find it weird that it was announced as a console timed exclusive, and we're again 2 years? Somebody helped me out with 2 years removed, and there it looks like it's not coming anytime soon. Do you think it's one of those? Again, we're not privy to back end deals, right? Deals can change, or deals can be made. But Chase, you not think it's weird at all that this title, this title, being previously announced as a timed console exclusive, which means it's coming to other consoles. It's not the Switch, right? So that has to be Xbox. It's not weird that it was originally announced that way, and for us to be at this point and just assuming that it's not there, Chakalaka. Well, no, that's for Chase. I saw Chakalaka look behind him.
Oh yeah, you had somebody peeking in through the door.
I don't find it.
You're not muted.
I thought you were about to get murdered, man. I was worried for you. Like you just see the knife stick out from behind the store.
Sorry, go ahead, Chase.
My bad.
So, I don't find it weird. It's just like Hugger was saying that there's been time exclusives for many things, and one of them I'm thinking about is Tomb Raider, and the one was like the rise of the Tomb Raider for that in that respect. But is it really? It's 2022. We haven't seen anything that's more weird. I mean, they've already renamed most of these Final Fantasy games 20 times over. At least thank you for renaming them and not just renaming it to say what it is and it has a different name so we can delineate. Thank you. But it's also they're always willing to try something to throw the players off of their game for something, right? And there's a new generation now of entering in terms of what we are now. This is going to be the new 10. We've previously exited an old 10 generation. Now this is the new 10. So this is something that people and the players are going to get accustomed to or not accustomed to. It's timed. When it comes down to business, that means that there's something happening on the back end a lot of people aren't thinking about was, hey, I got more money to put this on here first. This is the platform. We really need this. We want to push this out. And so we've got to start thinking of more of like what these business deals are typically kind of doing overall. Because it's also probably even going to be in alignment with how the Resident Evils are rolling out, right? Ooh. In terms of, did we really need a Resident Evil 4 remake? Are they going to remake Resident Evil 5? It already looks kind of good. But it then, in that same argument that Uga was saying was, I actually had a brilliant idea years ago about Final Fantasy, the 9-8 fraction. Whereas in people hold 7 at this tier, but if you played 9, because you skipped 8, you would appreciate 9. So it's, here's the article if y'all want it. It's an idea, but
there you
it's
go.
probably going to be a really great article.
Baron, to me, and I'm gonna take my biggest worry as someone who doesn't own a PS5 right now. Not because I don't want to, I refuse to pay Chakalaka prices for a PS5. I refuse. Okay? My biggest worry is, you remember that NVIDIA leak and everything came to fruition? What was on that leak? What was on that leak? Final Fantasy 9 remake.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so concerned about this, because it seems as if Sony, maybe not Sony, Square Enix is doing an about face and pretty much not changing their mind on putting games, the mainline Final Fantasy games, on Xbox. But Baron, I want to switch to you because again, this game was originally announced as a timed console exclusive, and we're going into two. And I even wrote an article last year that said, "Hey, Final Fantasy 7 about to drop on Xbox," and it never came. I never took the article down, but I wrote that, and now I feel stupid because it didn't come. It's not coming. But your thoughts, B?
There's clearly there has to be some money thrown around, right? It could be a just buddy friendship thing. Like, you know what? We're Square, Sony. We like you. We're cool. We're family. No, you can't buy us. No, thank you. But we'll just work with you. I'm thinking somebody in the Xbox, Microsoft, like, it might even be a Microsoft thing. It might not even be an Xbox thing. Somebody like completely disrespected somebody at Square. Like, it had to be like some shameful act that happened. And this is like just some familial beef. going down, and it's like rolling over into the gaming sphere, and it has nothing to do with Final Fantasy. And this is just their way of getting back. But that's probably not the case. But it makes more sense than not putting these games everywhere if you're willing to put it on PC. That's the crazy part to me. If you're willing to put it on PC, let it ride. Like I mean, because if you can put it on PC, I'm not a developer, but I imagine you're able to put it on the Xbox, especially it being basically a pocket piece. But I don't know. I don't make games.
And if there was an opportunity, if I'm Sony and there was some type of, again, because backroom deals are made, we don't know how contracts are worked out. But if there was an opportunity and Square was like, "Hey, do you want to extend this?" Yeah, because it's, as someone who prefers Final Fantasy, again, like Hugger was saying, is such a big title. It's such a big game that it's going to draw people to your platform of choice. So that could be it. I just find it, weird personally. But Citizen Snitch, I'll move over to you as our resident level-headed one. You think at this point, if you're an Xbox console owner, let's say you don't have a PS5 because you either can't afford it or you can't find one, like me, I can't find one. It's a time to give up hope and realize that you're not playing Final Fantasy VII without I would hate to play it on PS4 right now. I have a PS4 that's busted, but I wouldn't play it on PS4, right? It's a time to just give up hope and just, you wait to get a PS5 because it's not coming.
It depends on how patient you are. If you're a very patient person, not give up hope. It'll be there. The two greatest things that I can come up with in my mind as to why it's not already available on Xbox is the timed exclusivity deal originally included language that meant the complete game would be made available on Xbox. As we know, we do not yet have a complete game. We have a part 1, part 2 is soon to be due. When part 3 drops, they could have legalized that pretty easy. Not that they would have snuck it by Xbox, but if that was the offer, Xbox would have been like, yeah, okay, fine. We'll wait for you to finish your game. Then when it's done, it'll become available on our console as well. The only other thing I can think of is if no formal deal had already been reached. I'm sure they talked about it. But if no ink had been put to paper just yet, what has come out that's been relatively large news for Xbox in the past 2 years, however long since Final Fantasy VII Remake first came out, that may have changed their stance on things?
Yakuza?
Game Pass?
Or
Activision Blizzard.
We all went we all went to different places with that.
Yeah, I'm good. But that's to show just how much big stuff Xbox has been doing, right?
Yeah.
So my thought is, once Sony caught wind of this, since they didn't have a finalized firm deal for this game just yet, they said, hang on, Square, if you don't mind, which they're obviously good buddies, and Square was probably like, yeah, we're not going to rush the deal. Hang on for a bit. I want to see how this Activision Blizzard thing pays out, because that's leverage in our pocket if they have something we want that they don't want to give us right away. We have nice, tasty Final Fantasy VII game that people would love to play on your console. You have nice, tasty game that people would like to play on our console. Let's exchange our intellectual properties, handshake, money's made, everybody's happy. But there's no way in hell, and Atlas proved this beyond a shadow of a doubt, there's no way in hell that if this is just Square's decision, I don't care who they might have pissed off within that organization on their board, no one person's feelings are going to stop a deal of that size. The other board members would be like, bro, that really sucks that he punched your 3-year-old nephew in the face, but we're talking several $100 million here. So we're just going to go ahead and roll this. We'll buy your nephew like a nice toy or something. Like, don't worry about it. Yeah, personal feelings aren't going to hinder a deal like this when it's not just one person in control. If this was like a single person leading the entire company, maybe. If he got his feelings hurt bad enough.
Or like one family.
Yeah, there's a board of directors, there's a whole host of decision makers within that organization who would bypass somebody with hurt feelings and say, no, sorry, this is getting done, if it was entirely up to Square.
You know what? Like, you bringing up the Atlas, right? Because truly, it was an honest belief that Persona would never, ever be on an Xbox console.
Money
But-
talks. Imagine
But
that.
check this out.
It's crazy.
What if the true melting pot and the true like peace treaty amongst all consoles is Fortnite? Like I'm going left here. Think about it. What other place can you have your Master Chief, your Kratos,
Yeah, that's true.
like getting killed by RoboCop? Like, like this is it's an IP melting. So I feel like deals are made in Fortnite like servers.
The thing with that, I don't think there's any secret to it either. It's just that Fortnite makes so much heckin' money off these kids buying those V-Bucks that they're like, what do you want for your character to be in our game? Okay.
Right,
every first offer's like, I'm writing. Just tell me how many zeros. Cool. Here's your
And we're
check.
done.
We'll make it back in a week. I don't care. Go ahead. Look at Master Chief Floss. Yeah, like they're paying. That's how you get deals done. There's no secret handshake. There's no like, oh, let me take you out to dinner for. No, it's I have this much money. Does that work for you? Cool. Done.
Is FF7 Remake gonna go straight to Game Pass day one? And if so, would that hinder any deals for it to come to Xbox?
Here's the thing. I don't think I'm with Snips. Either I think it's not coming. The deal have changed, or you're not getting it until after part 7. How many parts? Because they can break this thing into how many parts they want to break it into, right? So let's say there's realistically, let's say it's a trilogy, right? You're looking at another 6, 7 years. At that point, if I'm Microsoft, I'm not paying you to put this in. I'm not paying you to put this on Game Pass. You put it on the console. Well, I'm not paying you to put this. Why would I cut that check?
Because it's Final Fantasy and you're gonna cut that check.
Yeah.
But but at
You're
that
gonna cut the check.
But at that point, but the problem is at that point, between what's coming and what's already out, you're looking at a 10-year-old game.
Persona 5, bro. We got
Persona 4.
That's smart.
And we
That's
got
right.
a Vita. And we got a Vita game. Bro, there's a Vita game that we hype for.
Persona 4 Golden.
Golden. Yes.
Bro. But this is so that like real talk, they're gonna cut the check. There's no way you don't want one of the most popular Final Fantasies on your console. Like if you can have it there, you're
Put it on a console. Yeah, I'm just thinking about them cutting a check to put it on. Because I mean, what it is, I know for a lot of like indie developers, Game Pass is almost covering the cost. You know, when it goes day one to Game Pass, they're covering a lot of the cost to even get the game made, right? What does that look like for a big AAA studio for a 10-year-old game? Are you still gonna want like top of the line? This is Outriders type money day one in Game Pass. Because laugh Outriders all you want, they got a big ass check. Because before and you know and Outriders is making a comeback, by the way. But before it got the reviews it was a highly anticipated. It was an anticipated title. So that check was cut. They cut a nice check to put that in day one of Game Pass. So I'm thinking like, at what value are you getting from putting it in Game Pass?
Let me get on my soapbox and explain how there's an article I wrote that I got ripped apart for on Reddit, and I was absolutely right. And I said it. Outriders needed to be on Game Pass day one. It needed quarterly content. And it needed to, and if it was not going to be on Game Pass, it needed to drop down to $39.99. I was absolutely correct. And yeah, so now back to the regular schedule.
But you know, I don't think Xbox is willing to cut as many checks as I think we are, because Hoyoverse, which is Genshin Impact makers, just released 2 more games in Genshin.
How was Genshin Impact not on Xbox yet?
And that's a massive game.
And it's a free to play.
I think that's a one.
Aloy is in Genshin.
Yeah. I honestly think that's a thing of we don't want your money for some reason, because is it? Go ahead.
The thing with those games too is the highest profitability part of Genshin is its microtransactions, and if you're not the person releasing the game, Microsoft will likely get a cut of their on their platforms, but it might not be enough for them to be like, yeah, it's worth a big investment. They need game sales and then maybe some microtransaction money on top of that.
We also need to consider what location that game is actually developed and released in first.
Yep.
That's a big deal.
Huge. And
Very big
and
deal.
that's why what game that recently came out was such a was it Lost Ark? Even
Lost
with that
Ark.
one,
Oh yeah,
that
that's a
that
great
was a
game.
that was a huge, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I just I really think it's a, yeah, money is a huge thing. Like, I'm not stupid. If you cut a big enough check, somebody's gonna wince and say yes. But to some extent, it's like everybody don't want everybody's money.
Is it me, or even though Xbox got the entire Yakuza series, they're getting Persona 3 portable, Persona 4 what? Snips? Golden.
Golden.
Persona 5 Royale. Even though those happen, right? Those are two major staples in the Japanese market coming to Xbox, not just Xbox Game Pass. It just feels like there's just so much more work to go for Microsoft, and it sucks because you obviously see the effort there, right? It's one thing to bring the game to the platform; it's another one to cut a separate check to bring it to Game Pass. But with this Final Fantasy thing, I'm just like, is this a Square? Like, is this just a Square thing, or is Xbox just that much? They're just still so far away, because I feel like they made a great headway with Persona, right? People have been saying for years Persona on Xbox, and people thought it never happened. Then it happened, right? It just feels like as much headway as they're making, they just seem like they're so far off with gaining the respect in a lot of ways from Japanese developers. Maybe it's just me.
Well, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, because I'll close it out. You bring it home, baby.
Okay, so right.
Hey, boys.
But no, so Xbox has been making a solid effort, right? They've opened up the Tokyo Game Show the last 2 years in a row. We did sit up until like 3 a.m. on the West Coast to watch it, but this, like, and I want to say both events, PlayStation, Sony was not there, and to have Xbox, an American company, American console maker, sitting and opening up. You got Phil Spencer sitting there, giving a whole presentation and a speech. So clearly they're reaching out. And then you're seeing a bigger, at least I'm seeing it on social media, on Twitter. You're seeing a big push. People buying them in Japan, taking pictures, posting with them. And then and shout out to Boom. You got Boom welcoming them over to the Xbox family. Like, you're seeing I'm seeing way more movement in that region play out across social media, whether it's podcasts, whether there's a bigger push for it. It's not just like this realm that doesn't exist and we ain't got it. Like, so I do think there is a bigger push. It might work out, but I still don't think they're gonna get that Square for some reason. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
That's more than fair.
All right, Hugs, you got last word, my love.
So, in all this discourse of Square, Xbox, Final Fantasy, I'm going to reiterate this again. Xbox Game Pass does not diminish the value of a game. Final Fantasy VII it has its own mythos around it, so we understand that. Baron, Fame, and I have both bought several games physically from Game Pass. It does not diminish it. Whether Final Fantasy goes onto Game Pass or not.
This just left Game Pass. This just left Game Pass. Like, this week. And I went, yeah.
Yeah. It does not diminish it. Final Fantasy VII is a legend. It has a movie about itself, so it'll be fine. And let's be honest, Game Pass is not, for me, the big draw is not the AAA titles. It is the games like Spiritfarer, like Bug Snacks. I've been playing a lot of Bug Snacks. Leave me alone. I can't stop playing it. Something I can't stop myself from playing it. But I just have
still in the plastic. He don't play games.
Whoa, I got to experience it.
Show me Final Resident Evil 8.
Got you. Say this. Oh.
This boy, he's like, I'm too scared to take it out. I'm like, take the steel book out of the plastic at least.
Baron buys the game so that I don't have to.
Steelbook.
Baron pass.
Still inside the plastic.
Just take the steelbook out at least.
I'm scared. It's gonna release the Bat Lady, not the one I want either.
Baron, October 28th, when the gold edition comes out, are you gonna buy that too? Because I know there's a new steelbook with it.
Then yeah.
Wait,
Then
so
yeah.
at least at least it's still in a plastic, which means it retains its value, which means you can sell it.
Chocolate, don't encourage him.
And I did just pre-order one of the 500 potion permits collector's editions for the Switch. And it's funny because I'm probably gonna buy it on PC and never open it. I like to look at pretty things.
Sometimes.
This is why I bought. Like, I wish I didn't have my filter thing on, because I like just bought a bunch of it. I like to look at things. It's my thing. I like to look at things.
Wolf, you went through a lot of emotions there, didn't you? You went through Mama Knows Everything to Please Don't Listen to Mama.
Shout out to the chat, man. You guys are freaking awesome. Do us a big favor, hit that like button if you haven't. Share the stream out, comment. I'm gonna be reading those out here. We're gonna jump into another topic, right? And I'm gonna ask the panel and the audience a question, because I just can't quite wrap my head around this. So there's Diablo Immortal. There was a player in New Zealand, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, who spent the equivalent. Damn, that was a struggle. Of 15,000 Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, he did it.
That was right. Hey.
Kind of.
Right.
Oh, hold on. Yes, Dragon. The mighty Thor, Jane Foster, is coming to Avengers next week, and I'm super excited. I can't wait. I've been grinding all week to get all my characters up to like 150, 155, so I can solely focus on Jane Foster and all of her glory.
Thor.
I was about to say, just like
Thor.
Thor skin, you nerd.
It's not a Thor skin. She might be an Echo, but she's not a...
Wait, what did you just say?
Echo.
No, before that.
She's not a Thor skin.
Oh, you said
not
Thor
Thor
skin.
skin.
I just had to make sure. I was like, wait a minute.
Reel it back.
Pause.
But this player spent $15,000 in Diablo Immortal to acquire a gem, a 5-star gem, or one of the highest rated gems in the game, right? Just
Like
to
9 more of those to go, baby.
just to waste it and uninstall the game. Now, before I ask the question, I want to get the panel's thoughts on this player. He's a streamer. I've had his name up here somewhere. I forgot what it was. Quinn69. It was 25K in New Zealand. Wow. It's 15,000. I want to get the panel's thoughts. Chase, I want to start with you. 15 grand just to poop on it. I beg your pardon. Exactly. But Chase, your thoughts on this Quinn69 spending 15 grand to acquire a gem, and he uninstalled the game as a FU, and I don't think he made the point he thought he made.
Yeah, you're a blundering idiot. That's my thought. There's not much more to say. What are you doing? You could have. There's a lot of other things to be spending money on.
You could have sold the account.
Going through a war right now. You could donate some money there. Help us, help folks out. You could have. I don't know. There's so many other brilliant things you possibly could have done with that, but I guess you just want to waste your time and your life doing those things. So.
I want to ask you this, Chase. I want to ask you this. I want to ask the chat as well. You guys dropping. I want to read them out because I'm interested in knowing. Ballpark. What's the most money you've ever spent in a free-to-play? Or even this in microtransactions period in a game? 0.
I'm smart with my money.
Impressive.
I mean, yeah, these things are designed to approach a specific audience, and I'm not the typical audience. So if this is the thing, right? So if you take someone who's business and you take someone who works in games and you take someone who's smart, I grew up on video games. I know how to work the system. So if you take it out, I'm gonna apply game ideology in life because art imitates life. So I'm just gonna put it back in. I'm not gonna spend money on things that don't make sense because what makes sense makes dollars.
Shout out to Manny Yeti in the chat. He says about 350 in this whole time playing Fortnite. 350. Chakalaka, I'm definitely coming to you next. Money bags. So 2 questions. Yeah. 1, what do you think about this situation? And number 2, what's the most you've spent on, I guess, either loot boxes or crates? What's the most you spent in game, cash money, on a game?
Somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000 on Fortnite.
That's it. Don't lie to me, bro. Don't lie to me, Chakalaka.
I beg your pardon.
Chakalaka spends more than $2,000 on a sandwich he likes if he wants it. Like, there's no way.
He definitely
there's
gets
no way.
Burger.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't tell you how much I spent on Fortnite. You know what? I should be like petition Epic to give me my data and find out what that was. I would like to know.
You could probably get a tax write-off.
I was about to say, you shouldn't have to petition them. They should provide you with transaction records. Yeah, like you should have an account transaction record in your history.
I wouldn't even know how to access it. There was a guy that basically petitioned EA for all of his data because of the European laws, and he was able to find out how much on his entire lifetime he spent on on FIFA, whatever the hell.
FIFA's
gold packs,
muncher.
Those packs, whatever. And then he said over his lifetime of playing FIFA games, he spent like $40,000. I'm like,
yeah, I could believe that.
But what he really should have asked him is how much of that data did you then sell to China? Because
right,
that's the real concern, man.
Azobo Wolf. No, go ahead. No, Azobo Wolf in the chat said he spent between 100 to 200 on cosmetics and Rocket League, 100 to 200 in Rocket League. But go ahead, Chakalaka.
Yeah, no, but this is that guy was kind of dumb because, like, I mean, honestly, yeah, you're right. You could do anything else with that money. You could just, donate to charity or whatever. I don't know what kind of statement you're making. You're just giving it to the man. You're just giving money away to the company that you're trying to protest against. They're winning.
We're talking about you and your $1,000 to $2,000 in Fortnite. Sir.
Yeah.
Don't you change the subject. We're shaming you.
Okay, you know what, Yeti? No, it's not over 2K. I think it's under 2K. I think. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong because I was spending like real low key. There was a couple of months in a row where at least 3 months in a row where I was doing 160 a month. So yeah.
It'd be cheaper to smoke crack, okay? God.
I'm wondering how big his platform is. And it's one of those things like, is his particular platform so big where he can just make this money? Like he has 693,000 followers.
I was about to say, I'm about to tell y'all, it's a stunt. Like he spent the $15K, sure, but in the attention and whatnot he's gonna get back from all of this, he's gonna make that back.
Probably got a lot of bits just like for doing it and stuff like that.
And then you got to think.
Never mind the people who are going to come to his channel and be like, bro, are you serious? You're the one who did it, blah, blah, blah. Couple extra 1,000 viewers, run an ad. There's some money back. Oh, what's this? I'm getting all this attention right now. I'm trending. Yeah, I'll let you pay to advertise on my stuff. And
the recycled process, too. Remember when that one person's paid like over $10,000 to get to the center of the universe in No Man's Sky? Remember that?
Chakalaka.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was Chakalaka.
That was
He was the guy. No. Allegedly.
Allegedly, exactly.
Hey, thrown under the bus today, Sean.
I know.
Baron.
I know, right?
Yes.
Be honest. And chat, keep dropping them because I really want to know how much, ballpark it, the most you spent in game, cash money.
I want to say like 40 or 50 bucks. Actually, no, I want to say it was 60. I put it into Warframe because I have been playing it so much. And I was like, with free-to-play games, if I put a lot of hours in it, I'll put the amount of paying a full price for a game. That's about my rule of thumb. There was this one mobile game. It was like a not Command and Conquer style game, but it was more like a Civilization, but more war based. I did drop $20 in there. I probably got scammed on that one, but it was fun. But yeah, I'll say around $60. And then I have dropped some 20 guys in 2K. I will say that.
Yes, because Baron is a super casual that plays 2K like an RPG, and he plays it every day.
It is an RPG.
Thank you.
You're playing the role of an NBA hopeful.
And I even took the longer route. I went to college in the G League, then the NBA, just to get my character. Ooh. Yeah. And I'm, pick and roll fanatic. But
I have probably the greatest story when it comes to in-game spending because I got to have my cake and eat it too. This was in like 2016, 2017, maybe. No, it was probably earlier than that. This was probably around 2014. It's some mobile game. Don't even remember the name of it.
Pokemon Go.
I was hooked. I was addicted. It had a gacha pull system. It was like a static tower defense type thing, but you pulled cards that were like cool looking anime characters, and they were your tower defense pieces. And I pulled one really awesome one, and that's what got me hooked. That adrenaline started flowing. So every day I would come home from work and like chain smoke cigarettes and be like, screw it, I'll buy another pack. Why not? And then by the time I finally stopped, because I looked at like my transaction history through Google Play and all that, I'd spent like $987 on this game. So here's the best, over the course of like a year, right? And I'm like, damn, that's a problem. I need to stop. Like I uninstalled the game. I was like, I need to be done with this. No way. I got an email from Google like a month or so later, and it was like, hey, BT Dubs, Google just settled a class action lawsuit on like a global scale because it was determined, like they were found guilty that they didn't have enough protections in place for in-app purchases. Basically, people were complaining that kids were grabbing their phone and being able to make purchases without any real like enter your password again or any kind of extra verification step. And they lost that lawsuit. And it was like, so as a measure, like as part of this lawsuit, we have to pay out. It was something ridiculous. It was like $1.4 billion in settlements to users who were affected. And it was like, and you've been identified as an affected user. Here's a list of your here's a list of your transactions that qualify for possible reimbursement. And it was every dollar I spent in that game. So it's like, click the checkbox next to the ones you want reviewed.
Somebody call the feds. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them.
Click the checkbox next to the transactions you want reviewed, and we'll submit them to see if they qualify. So I clicked every freaking box, sent that shit in. A month later, I got a check from Google for $1,015.
Oh my god!
So I made poor decisions, and life was like, you know what? We'll give you a pass on this one. Here you go, buddy.
You made so many purchases that they flagged it as a kid. Not unwillingly. Oh,
well, no, it was the qualified purchase thing was just like a purchase made from these certain apps during this time period. And it just so happened one of my apps was the app, and the time period happened to be when I was spending money.
No, Google, I did not make these purchases.
And just so you know, chat, if you're wondering if I did something responsible with this money, if I learned my lesson, hell no. I went out and I was like, I got Google money, and did all kinds of stupid stuff, and it was gone in like a week. But I had a great team, and that's what matters.
Wow.
So you might as well spend it now.
Yeah. Yeah, Google didn't really care if you actually made a legal purchase or not. It was like the court decided we have to pay out this much. If your pay qualifies, whatever. We just need to fill this quota. So I got in there quick. I was like, yep, all these, review those. And they're like, yeah, whatever, dude. Here you go. Here's your check.
God, Lord, I love it. We love to see it.
It was awesome.
Hey,
I hate you right now.
When you get money from one of the, hey, I'm hating. Hugger, I'm gonna go to you because I don't. Hugger, the most you've ever spent, and your thoughts on this clown who I think Ozobo was said in the chat. It's pretty much a $15,000 ad that he did.
Yeah.
The most I spent is probably in League of Legends because I have this weird addiction. I don't play it anymore, but I go back and buy my Lysandra skins every time.
You want the skins? I know.
Yeah. So it's probably about $400 or $500 in League of Legends over since beta till now.
That makes sense.
That's like 2 skins.
13 years.
That's like 2 skins. What are you talking about?
Right? Well, they used to be a lot cheaper back in the day. Destiny is probably the second, and then I can't think of a third. I'm like, look, if I can't earn it in game, then it's not meant for me. I don't really care. But this is an interesting thing. Maybe he didn't intend it for it, but you guys calling him dumb. But if he really wanted to change, he did the perfect thing because it went to Forbes. And if it's on Forbes's radar, then it's on a lot of mainstream media's radar. And that's gonna be an interesting thing because it wasn't until FIFA got onto Forbes that people started paying attention outside of the gaming community. So now that this is on Forbes and Business Insider, I remember there was an article put out when he was spending only at 4K, so now he's at 15K. It's gonna be something. EA got in shit for articles like this, so he made his money back. It may be just an ad for him, but it's going to be the trickle down effect is going to be interesting, especially with Blizzard in the hot seat for what the allegations, the stuff that was proven true with what happened. Yep. There's a magnifying glass on them. So for them to pull something like this, it was probably way unintentional, like I said, on his part, but he's put another spotlight on them that they are not going to like. Because it's gone outside of our sphere. Our sphere is very small yet very tight. It's in the mainstream media now, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Can't wait
Stop
to see.
with the type.
Well, I didn't say a thing. I didn't say a thing. I didn't say a thing.
I heard you.
I will say for me personally, the most like cash money, it was probably Pokemon Go, and it was like $30. However, only reason it's that low is because I also do a little thing called Google opinions, Google rewards, and so the money you get from that
scams.
The money you get from that is spent inside the store. So what did I spend it on inside the store? Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon.
And it's not a scam. Just like Get Upside or Upside isn't a scam, Mr. I've been saving money since Fame put me on. I don't want to hear it, bro.
It's a scam, bro. But yeah, they're definitely collecting data from the enemy. The opposition.
They already have all that data anyway, don't forget.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just wanted to give a shout out to Walt, what he said at the top of the show. And I seen it on like Twitter or whatever, is like people were like saying like Diablo Immortal. So there we go.
That's an easy joke. It's right there in front of you, man.
Don't you have a credit card?
So bad. Oh my god, Baron.
You guys don't have lines of credit?
The microtransactions are so bad in this that remember the Harry Potter mobile game that came out? Nobody's talking about that. Remember Ghost Recon Breakpoint and the microtransactions in there? Nobody's talking about it. It's that bad. And Blizzard, shame on you. Shame on you.
What popular game is? Oh no, go ahead, Chase.
I was gonna say at the same time, y'all want to drop $15,000 in Quest-like pockets to get
Hey, listen.
My pirates would be very appreciated. I don't. I'm just kidding.
Hey, get your money, black man.
Use code TrebleClefChase at checkout.
My chairman show.
Let's go. Listen.
Don't you want all the S tiers?
If you're watching, y'all know what it is, man. In the chat, drop down your suggestions for people to watch and or play for this week. Citizen Snips, I'm coming to you first, my brother. Your suggestions for the people to watch and or play for this week.
So, only thing I've really been playing, Jedi Fallen Order because it's on Game Pass, of course, and that's been Game Pass has been my go-to relax when I'm on the couch lately. Especially because this particular season of anime has been relatively disappointing to me. If you haven't started it, dude, go watch Shield Hero Season 2 just so you can see this fall from grace. Like
it's bad, bro.
I'm on 3 episodes in. Did it fall?
It got fan servicey for no reason.
Well, after the giant turtle thing, things go bad too. What they start doing is and I don't know if that was rushing. It's clear their budget got cut because the show doesn't look nearly as good as season 1 does. But the biggest issue they run into that keeps hurting me is they introduce what should be a major plot point. Like, oh, this is something major. This could be huge. But then they resolve it in before the end of the episode. And you're like,
What?
You made me think like this
What is
was
this,
some
Super Bowl?
grand, like incredible thing that was going to be big trouble, and the characters were all stressed out about it. And then by the end of the episode, it's like, whoo, we solved that. And then the next episode, you do the same thing again. It's like you can't give me what's supposed to be a major plot point if they resolve it in 22 minutes. Like that's not. You're cheapening the arcs that this show should be going through. And their budget definitely went to crap because the show looks nowhere near as good as it used to.
Oh, I'm sad now.
So yeah, that's a bummer. but watch it so you can understand what anime should never do. It's a lesson for you to learn. And I did one thing I can recommend to watch. I did watch Sonic 2. It's on Paramount Plus, and I watched that last night because I figured it was about time. And it was pretty good. I was pretty good with it. So.
What was that anime again, Citizen?
Shield Hero Season 2, Rising of the Shield Hero.
Because that first season was top tier.
Season 1, amazing. Season 2, I can't tell. Like, I don't know the manga, I don't know the source material, so I can't tell if they just butchered the adaptation, or if because their budget got cut, they just lost their heart and passion. And were like, we're phoning this in. But it seems like it was really phoned in for Season 2.
Slow-mo backslap in the chat says, watch Umbrella Academy, which drops this week. Or next week, one of the two. Wolf says, read Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me? By Mindy Kaling. Mindy 80 says, play Amori. It released day one on Game Pass a few days ago. It's a turn-based horror game that I have to play on stream, apparently. Okay. Wolf says, Shield Hero is trying to avoid catching up with the manga. Expect a filler next season. Walter says, play Dragon's Dogma, Dark Horizon, watch Star Wars Rogue One, read A Silent Voice, and listen to anything that Chase Bethea has made. Yes, sir, it slaps.
Amen.
Let's go. Let's
like
go.
that
Slow-mo says, read The Way of Kings. Slow-mo also play Remnant from the Ashes. Yes, sir. I need a part 2 ASAP. And Flameser says, I recommend the anime Gangsta. Chocolate, I'm moving to you, brother. Your suggestions this week for folks to watch and or play.
All right. In theaters this weekend is Elvis. It's like
yeah.
what is it called? Not a documentary. It's a
It's a-
biopic.
A rockumentary.
Yeah, biopic. Anyways, starring Tom Hanks as, I guess, the villain. I don't know.
Rated S for sinful hip shaking.
And then also, movie I'm more excited about is an Ethan Hawke horror movie called The Black Phone. So that seems kind of interesting. Trailer looks cool. So there's that. Those two movies are out in theaters this weekend. Now, for playing, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys like the lowdown here on what I'm working on. I said at the top of the show I'm working on a review, so I'm gonna go ahead and just give you guys it's out right now. It's been out for about a year. It's a game called God Strike, and so look out for the review later this week. And then I will just say that it's a twin stick shooter. It's pretty dope. It's kind of like Resogun but on crack, I guess is the best way I can explain it. So yeah. That's it.
Don't do crack, kid.
We've had multiple crack references or cocaine references.
That's why I had to be like, don't do crack, kids.
I am worried. Make sure I don't have anything in the chat here. While Tom Hanks went off on paparazzi last week for tripping his wife. Really? Why are we tripping Tom Hanks' wife? Sis, we're moving over to you. What do you suggest for this week?
Ooh, I'm gonna suggest if you like classic point and click games on Game Pass, Chinatown Detective Agency is a really good one. You guys know I'm working on ESO review, and it's not gonna be my usual cheery mindset of it. I have some serious issues with this latest expansion, and I can't wait to see what you guys think of it as well. To watch. Spy X Family.
With the X, let's go.
And Uncanny Counter, again, both bangers. Just go lay in your bed, go get your double chin on, and go watch some TV.
Our wonderful guest of the evening, Chase. What is just for folks to watch, play, or listen to this week?
All right. Well, do you want the shameless plug or do you want the real Chase Bethea record?
We want it all.
Both.
Both of them.
Hey, there should be no shame, okay? You should be proud to plug your stuff, man.
Both of them.
You're gonna watch out for the Quest Like Pocket soundtrack July 5th. You're gonna play Quest Like Pocket on Android right now. You're gonna listen to the soundtrack when it drops. Those are the proud plugs. For the Chase Bethea recommendations, you should probably watch Hustle. I really enjoyed that movie a lot.
It was such a good movie.
Adam Sandler made a great redemption from Uncut Gems.
I liked
You didn't
Uncut
like
Gems.
Uncut Gems?
I don't. So, Uncut Gems just goes too long, but it wasn't about his performance. It's too long of a movie that it overstays its welcome. But Hustle was right in the pocket. Everyone, who thought basketball players could really act like they got down.
They really
was
did that.
Good. And all the players. So definitely watch Hustle, and if you are going to play something you thoroughly enjoy. That's not, you don't have to spend $15,000 or more for. In that respect, play something that is going to wind you down for the day and enjoy yourself overall. And that's my recommendation for playing.
Hell yeah.
I'm all over the place. Baron J67. I don't know what happened to me. Baron J, what you got for this week, brother?
Well, I hope you guys can look at the meme box.
I was about to say, were you just making these yourself?
Yeah. Hater number one.
What the hell, bro? What the hell, bro? I hate everything about you. I hope your foreskin stinks.
Oh, hey, yo.
He said Thor skin.
Thor skin. Thor.
Yep, I love the way this cake is cut.
Okay. So I was gonna recommend Hustle because it was an absolute gem of a movie. It's funny because of Uncut Gems. I have to say, go and watch all of Adam Sandler's serious movies. Spanglish,
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison. No, but any I really think Adam Sandler makes amazing serious movies. And they, of course, they have their funny moments, but he makes very good serious movies. So go check out all of them: Spanglish, Uncut Gems, Hustle, which is on Netflix. It made me stop playing a game I'm reviewing and like forced me to watch. Go check out Symphony of War, because if you're a fan of Ogre Battles, which you're probably not, but I am, and go play. If you enjoyed Ogre Battles, this game is basically a clone on top of building and adding different mechanics, more modernized version of Ogre Battles March of the Black Queen. And what's so dope about it is you get to like level up your characters and make them into different classes. And I just found a baby dragon in a castle that some soldiers were holding hostage. Now it's a part of my army. So yeah. But yeah, it's a tactical RPG. So nerd out. Enjoy yourselves.
Fame, what do you have for us?
I know what he's gonna recommend.
Avengers.
Hey Fame. Hey Fame. What game you gonna recommend?
Okay.
I think he's too busy coming up with an angry response meme to you.
Man,
like...
you ever just been chilling, minding your own business, and you get a Charlie horse? Oh man.
Yeah,
it was
Thor reskin will do that to you.
The Thor skin,
bro. It's so bad. I feel like I'm about to vomit.
Oh Lord.
It was so painful. Listen,
man, I like this game.
Go play Avengers, okay?
Oh, okay. There it is. There it is.
I want y'all to see how much pain I'm in. Right, the headband that came off.
Oh Lord.
I'm doing bad.
No, the hairline out.
Get that man some potassium.
I'm doing bad over here.
You know, Fame, I just want to let you know that I now know somebody who tattoos people's scalps. Make it look like
The man is in pain. Let him live.
Oh my God!
Listen,
Hey,
He does a good job. I'm just saying.
play Avenger.
oh my!
Watch Stranger Things.
Oh my God!
With all that, Hugger, close out the podcast.
With all that said, we love you guys so much. If you want to see more of us, tomorrow should be take 2.
Yep.
Sunday, what I want to say, 15 minutes of fame. It's Starcross gamers. I mean, Starcross lovers, whatever you want to call it. Monday, 15 minutes of fame. This Tuesday is Cogs and Machinist back. We come back to Wednesday, and then next week we're having Miss Bubbles on Thursday. So come hang out for happy hour. We love you guys so much. We're gonna let Fame go lay down because this boy just got knocked out. Right? Thank you guys so much. We love you.